What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today we're going to be going into a fun topic, which is third-party lenses for Nikon. Now I know what you're thinking. When you think third-party, you think Tamron, Sigma, and some of the other big box brands. But that's not who we're going to be going into today. And you know what? There's actually a really good reason for that. Nikon in the past has had some great prosumer cameras, but I would say in the last 2-3 years, there really hasn't necessarily been a new camera drop by Nikon that's being gauged towards the prosumer market. Today, I'm here to talk to those of you who have a Z6, Z6 II, Z7, or Z7 II. These cameras are still killer in 2023, and you can get them used online for a very reasonable price. The reality is, for a lot of us that are buying these more affordable cameras, we don't want to be dropping a huge amount of money on new lenses. Now, this isn't me knocking Nikon saying they don't have great glass. They do, and that's actually one of the reasons why I switched to Nikon in the first place. Nikon glass is priced for what it is. It's not overpriced, but if you're looking at full frame Z-mount glass, new at least for the Z system, it's not necessarily the most approachable price tag you might see. So that's why a lot of photographers love third-party glass. It doesn't necessarily have all the same bells and whistles as a native lens for a camera system or be optically as good, but usually if you're wanting a more affordable lens, it's more approachable. And also as well, if you've just switched to Nikon from another system, you might be wanting to test, try, and see how things go. So investing in a whole bunch of Z-mount lenses might not be in the budget or something that you're looking for right away. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go inside, find a good spot to sit, because as I'm sure you can tell, it is not sunny summer anymore. And we're gonna have a look at these newest lenses as reported by Nikon Rumors. And we're gonna kind of see which ones we might want, which ones we might not. Man, it is chilly out. We've made it inside. Let's get into the articles. All right, let's first of all get into the title here on Nikon Rumors. Also as well, the article link is below if you'd like to check it out yourself. It was released on September 4th, 2023 and is titled, More New Chinese Lenses for Nikon Z Mount. You got some brand names here too. Pergear, Viltrox, and BRIGHTIN. Pergear and Viltrox I am familiar with, but BRIGHTIN, that's a new one. I don't know everything, believe it or not. All right, so the first lens that they go into here is the Pergear 14mm f2.8 second gen. So it is a 14mm to 8 full frame for the Nikon Z mount. It replaces the previous version, and just looking at these photos, it looks like a manual focus lens from the photos, but I mean at $269, it's probably autofocus. Usually anything over the price of $250 from a more affordable third-party producer has autofocus. So I imagine this 14mm will have autofocus. That's really cool, and I think for a lot of vloggers and a lot of people that want to shoot wide angle, 14 is great. 2.8 isn't the brightest lens, but it's enough that you can get some nice separation between your background and your subject. Right now you're seeing me through a zoom lens at 2.8, 17mm. All right, let's get into the second lens, which is the Viltrox 28mm f1.8. Okay, nothing on here about pricing, but say it's a 1.8 full frame prime lens, which is really exciting because Viltrox has had some really great APS-C drops in the last couple years at wider focal lengths like 17mm, 20mm, but they've only been that APS-C. So I mean, you can use them on a full frame camera, but you're gonna get a very significant crop on the sensor itself. And the last lens that they're teasing here is the BRIGHTIN 35mm f0.95. Nothing on here about price. BRIGHTIN is not a brand I'm familiar with, but 0.95, that's a very wide aperture for sure. Pretty exciting. Just judging by the photos, I'd say it looks like it's manual focus, but it is full frame. Okay, so what do all these full frame drops from Chinese third-party producers mean for Nikon users? Well, I think it signals that a lot more producers are preparing for full frame mirrorless cameras from Nikon, which is super exciting. I mean, obviously we just had the Z8 drop and also the pending ZF. If you'd like to see my rumor video about that camera, check above my left hand here. I think what this signs towards is more cameras coming from Nikon and a lot of third-party producers banking on that.
Make bank.
Which I think is super exciting, because the reality is a lot of people that want these prosumer cameras aren't necessarily going to invest like a massive amount in lenses. Not everyone's the same, and I mean, you can look at lenses as an investment, right? I mean, it's not something that you're looking at replacing every few years. Theoretically, you should have a holy trinity of lenses that you just hold on to forever in perpetuity in terms of zooms. But if you're looking at getting into the system for the first time, having third-party options that are both optically excellent and affordable are key. So what kind of lenses do I look for from third-party producers? Well, not really that many. I'm using the FTZ2 adapter with lots of old F-mount glass. I find that for what I do, it works really well. On the subject of that, maybe you want to get into F-mount glass. Maybe you're just buying a Nikon Z series camera for the first time. If that is the case, check out my left hand here. I've got a video going into all different lenses and what my 3 favorites are for my Nikon Z6. If I was looking, I would probably be wanting to get one of the prime lenses by Viltrox. The 85 looks awesome. I've seen lots of reviews on that, and there's a lot of great Viltrox autofocus lenses that have come out and continue to for the Nikon Z system, and a lot of people have gotten their hands on them. Sometimes with third-party producers you can get lemons, but from most of the people I've seen talk about Viltrox, that hasn't been the case. I think we are going to get more affordable lenses by Sigma as well as Tamron. But I mean, Tamron just kind of put out one of their awesome zoom lenses quite recently for the full frame Z mount system. So we might be waiting a little bit of while for that trickle down and those affordable options. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also as well, I've got a very exciting new project that's going to be dropping here in mid-October. Are you an amateur street photographer or looking to get out more? Austin and I have got your back. Him and I started shooting street photography back in Seoul over 5 years ago, and it's really what got me into photography and him as well. So we'll be launching our new course in mid-October, so stay tuned for that. See you all in the next one.